Happy Friday, everybody. Marlene, aka Snowgardener307, here to go back to the basics. On Fridays, we always go back to the basics. I am excited to tell you guys that I do have an update for Briana. This last month, Briana had been ill, and I had been in and out of contact due to not only my granddaughter, but my own mental health. And so we're going to go all the way back to her check from the February 6th. And she did go ahead and send me the picture of her budget. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up right here. This next month, I am hopeful that we will get a debt update from Briana. Briana's budget scholarship has concluded, but she did let me know that she would be happy to go ahead and continue to check in probably like once a month, because I'm invested in Briana and you guys are invested in Briana as well. So you guys have got the paper up there. I've got it right here in my hand. So let's go ahead and read through this. So you can see that they did get paychecks, child support, and money from the kids. And of course, the money from the kids, just in case you are brand new, she has young adult children that pay for their own cell phones and car insurance. So that's what that money is there. So they are already ahead of the game with $5,242 to work with. And as we look down through the bills, it looks like she did exactly what I recommended. And also for her credit cards and her debts, she paid all of the minimums on those. And we also see medical, $80. That is her medical sinking fund that she put into. So a little bit above what was budgeted for that. We roll on down to the bottom corner there. She pulled the $1,200 for all of her spending, her groceries, her pets, her house, and that left her with $823.15. which meant that she got to do $600 to her debt snowball, and that left her with $223.15 for her rollover. Now, let me read the email right here. I've got it in front of me, so you guys, I'm not going to be able to look at you and read it as well. And so, luckily, Briana is feeling better. She said she's still not 100%, but feeling better. And she told me for her paycheck for $220, which was only last week, she did get paid $4,345. She is also starting clinicals this week. She is a nurse, just in case you guys didn't know. And so 2 of her normal 3 days are spent in clinical. So she's not sure how much overtime and side hustle money she'll be able to do with clinicals, but she's going to try to manage as much as she can without exhausting herself. And yes, Briana, make sure that you don't work yourself to exhaustion. And she did say she was able to pay more to debt, but she left more in rollover just because she knows that the March electric bill is going to be high because of the freezing temps for 2 weeks. And she's not sure how much she'll have next week. So Briana is still on her way. And like I said, I am going to ask Briana for a debt update. And I'm sure Briana is watching this, but I'll send Briana an email. So hopefully next Friday we can get an update and see how many credit cards she is at, what her debt is at. But paying an extra $600 to her debt snowball is absolutely amazing. I do know in another email, one thing that Briana told me was that it is nice not starting out with a negative budget. If you remember, if you roll all the way back to last year when we started with Briana was not making enough money to pay the bare minimums on the bills. So it's really hard to have a debt snowball when you're starting out with a negative in your budget. And I know some of you guys may be facing that. And of course, as a back to the basic mantra, I guess is what we should say. The only way to fit that is to make more money or spend less money, right? Make more money, spend less money. That's the only way you can do it. Briana's been working her side hustle. She's been picking up the overtime and stuff. And that is how she's been able to dig herself out of the hole that they were in. Of course, the hole is still there. It's just not as deep. She's shoveling a little bit of dirt into it. And I am super proud of Briana and her progress and the fact that she has not had to use any of her credit cards as she's going along on this journey has said a lot about their spending habits. And that is one of the most important things about a debt-free journey is our habits and our money. We don't want to be the people that don't spend any money, but we want to be people that realize that the money that we spend has to have a purpose. Now that purpose could be because I want self-care or because I'm buying a present or because we're celebrating. It doesn't have to be about needs versus wants, but we do have to be responsible in our spending. Speaking of spending, let's go ahead and jump right into my spending. And we've got 2 weeks to track because I didn't do a video last week. So let's go ahead and see what I spent for the last 2 weeks. Let's go ahead and unstuff my wallet. Let's restuff my wallet, and let's do a few savings challenges. We're going to go ahead and cover 2 weeks of spending. I'm going to try not to take too much time, but you guys know I am chatty. And this is week 3 of February. We're going to go ahead and jump right in on some big spending on Saturday. I did go wash my car, so I took $23 out of my car fund. I bought myself a chai tea for $7. And then you see here, Hawaii Scuba, $1,468. So we have booked our scuba diving for Hawaii. So super excited to have that booked and paid for. And then on Sunday, I didn't leave the house, so I didn't spend any money, didn't order anything online. On Monday, we did some shopping. I went to Smith's and I overspent. I gave myself $20. I spent $22, but it could be worse, right? I got my hair done, so I took $50 out of personal care. I will let you guys know I was scheduled for a color originally, but I decided because my income is lower that I was going to go ahead and skip my hair color for this time and for next time. Also, I've been wearing hats, so why do I need to get my hair colored? And then I went ahead and splurged and got myself a really nice pedicure. And I will say this is the same place that I've been going to for a couple years. And I got a new lady, and I do not like what my pedicure looks like. She shaped my toenails weird. Normally, I just like them straight across at the top, more of a square shape, not super long. And she kind of rounded my big toes on one side, but left them square on the other side. It's really weird. I don't know. But anyway, I'll let them grow out. And when I go for another pedicure, I'll make sure that I let them know what I want. And then this day I was in town with my son and daughter. So I bought Little Caesars for everybody. That included 6 pizzas, crazy bread, soda, everything for $84. So this came out of my son and daughter's money. What this is right here is this is money that I set aside every single month when I go to visit them. I can buy them lunch. I can go buy a coffee. I can go buy them groceries if I want to, that type of stuff. Then I needed gas for my car, and I also bought myself a chai tea. On Tuesday, it was a no spend. On Wednesday, I went to the brewery. Now, this was violating my rules for my pantry no spend because I wasn't out of town. However, my sister-in-law and I really needed some time out of our houses, and we went and did this, and I'm okay with it. Spent $49 on that. And then my mother-in-law and father-in-law actually joined us after I had paid this bill, and we hung out for hours and visited with family. So it was very, very good. On Thursday was a no spend. On Friday, we went snow machining, and we went with another friend. And so we went ahead and ate out again. We were technically out of town, so it was $135. I didn't have money in my food budget or anything for this expense. So I went ahead and took it out of the Celebrate. It did feel like kind of like a Celebrate. Even though our friend was there, it felt like a date night for my husband and I. We shared a steak. We got some yummy hot cocoa and hot cider. And so that's how I justified it. And, I justify my spending a lot, but if there's money somewhere and it's not pulling from like car insurance or something like that, I think that's okay. So for this week, we spent quite a bit, $514 without the scuba. With the scuba, almost $2,000. So it was more than we wanted. Now, I already changed my wallet out, but didn't record it, obviously, because we have the next week right here. So we jump right in with going out of town on Saturday. My husband had a tattoo, so we went and spent all day there. So we ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner out of town this day. So I needed to get some gas for my car for $19. My husband and I had taco time for dinner. I actually took, for the 27, I took $25 out of fun, took $2 out of food. Then Broadway, this was just with my son and I because my husband was getting his tattoo done. I spent $28 with Peyton, so that came out of his money. Santa Fe was breakfast for my husband and I, $39. We took that out of food. And then we got 2 coffees, chai teas for $15. And then, you guys, on Sunday, I went on eBay and I bought myself a gift. That's right, everybody. We were talking on Saturday night when we got back, and I was talking to my in-laws, and I was talking about probate, things like that, because my husband lost his grandmother very recently. And so we were talking about that type of stuff. And I was talking about when I lost my grandma had put our names on the bottom of things that we had given her because she wanted us to have those back. unfortunately, or fortunately, my name is the same as my grandma's name. And I didn't get one thing out of my grandma's house, even though I know my name was on the back of dozens of items. And one of the most important things to me was a picture. It was a piece of artwork that my mother had bought my grandmother after I was born. It hung in my grandma's house my entire childhood, my entire life. And my grandma always told me the story about it, about my mom purchasing it for her when my mom was 17 for my grandma. It was an inexpensive print of a little boy and a dog. And I'm going to put it up right here for you guys to see. And I didn't get that. And I asked my uncle for it and they said they didn't know where it went. Maybe one of the great grandkids had taken it, but they couldn't do anything to help me. So it's been something that's, been very heavy ever since my grandma passed. So I went on eBay and I found one and I bought one for myself, you guys. So I'm going to hang it in my office because it is just such a core memory. And even though it's not the original one, it's okay. So $56. Sorry, you guys, long story there. But I mean, there are certain things in life that things are just things, but there's a few things in our life that are core memories that are very sentimental, and that was something for me, so I bought that for myself. No spend on Monday. Then on Tuesday, I went to the grocery store, spent $18 on food. I also had to go to the laundromat 2 days in a row. I washed some big, large washable rugs, so I spent $14 on laundry out of the home category on Tuesday, bought myself a chai tea, and then with change, I found an A-buck and a G-bucks out of my money. Sorry, you guys, I choked on my own spit, so I had to stop there and cough. Hopefully it'll pass, but you guys know how that is when you take a breath in, you take some of your own spit in, and then you're coughing and you sound like a hot mess. So on Wednesday, I washed the second rug. I don't know why it charged this way. It must be like a certain hour or something like that. The way that it worked was wash was $6, and then to dry, when you put your cart up, you can only do $1 at a time. So I think they went together like that, but another $6 at a home, another chai tea for me. You're going to see a theme here for chai teas this week. So chai tea and also a B-buck. And then yesterday I went and got myself a chai tea. And when I went to get my chai tea, it was pretty late in the afternoon. It was about 4 o'clock. It was after I went to the post office, did all of that kind of stuff. And also my barista, she messed up and she started doing coffee and she's like, oh my gosh, I don't know why I did that. I know you don't like coffee. And I said, well, have you already done it? And she said, yes. And I said, well, why don't you go ahead and make a mountain mocha for my husband as well. And I'll surprise him when he gets home. So he was surprised by that. My hubby is home. So we got another set of teas or coffee and tea. And I found a B-buck. So that's a total of $15 there. And I just realized I did not add up the week. So let's add this up. And we spent $253. That's not too bad. I mean, we see a lot of spending on days, but we see this chai tea habit getting a little bit out of control right here. And if that's the only bad habit I have, you guys, I think I'm winning. So $253, so not bad at all. So that is my 2 weeks of spending. I am struggling today with words, you guys. I feel like I have so much to tell you guys that I just keep jumbling up my words. So we're going to go ahead and do our weekly check-ins now. I've got cash. I've got my wallet. I've got all the things and stuff that we need. And I'm going to go ahead and show you week 3 really, really quick. So for food, we spent $78. For car, I spent $59. For me, I spent $15. And then the other categories were all $0. So $22 went to Hawaii from food. $50 went to Hawaii from Pepper Pantry. $47 I went ahead and moved into my long-term car fund. I actually just bought my husband some tires. And because they weren't in his budget right then, and he needed new tires, and the money was there, so I did that. Then for me, this was for rollover. $30 I went and put that into our giving, and then we rolled over $25 for fun and miscellaneous and $25 for home. Now, let's go ahead and get to our current week. This is, of course, the cash I pulled out of the safe for week 1 of March. Yay, yay, yay. And we're going to go ahead and pull all of this cash out of my wallet, and we're going to go through this. So let's hope everything adds up how it's supposed to add up. I think it should, you guys. Spoiler alert. I double checked because, like I said, today I feel like I'm on the struggle bus so much. So for food this last week, I should have $41 left, which I do. And so we spent $59. Now, of course, not all of that was at the store. Some of it was eating out. And for us, we do not have a separate eating out budget. And so $41 is going to go to our Hawaii budget. Prepper Pantry, I didn't spend anything. So $50 is going to go to Hawaii as well. So $91 to Hawaii today. And then for car, I started out with $50. And look at all these ones. I think I must have made change or something. Oh my gosh. They're all getting messed up. So we've got 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, $31 left. And we did spend $19 on gas. So $31, we're going to go ahead and send this to our car sinking fund. So that is going to go into our long-term sinking fund. And then for me, besides finding bucks to go towards our other goals, the only spending I had was chai tea, but I had a lot of it. I also bought coffees for my husband. And so let's see how much we've got here. 20, 40, 50, 55, 56, 57, 58, $59 left. So 59. And that means that we spent $59 and had $59 left. We're going to go ahead and roll that over. Pay it forward. We didn't spend anything. We're going to go ahead and roll over that $10 as well. Then for fun and miscellaneous, this week we didn't spend, oh no, this week we did spend $25 because we've got 25 left. And we've got 25. We'll go ahead and roll over that as well. And you guys, I don't have a set rule of when I roll stuff over and when I don't. So for home, we spent money on laundry. So that was $20. So that left us $30. We're going to go ahead and send that to our home sinking fund. Now, before any of this stuff gets messed up, let's go ahead and grab those binders and get that moved over. Also, you guys, I want you to see there is cash behind this bank tab, and that is because that's going to the bank. So let me grab the binders that I need. I actually only needed one binder, and this is the adulting binder. So for auto, we have $31 going into my long-term sinking fund. So $31 there for auto is going to go in here. And then we also have home, and that's going to be $30 going into home. So $30 into home right there. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and stuff our wallet. I didn't think about it until we were already past the first category, but what I should have done was go ahead and pull this money out and start stuffing it as we were going along. But that is okay. We're also going to total what we've spent. I'm going to have to grab out my March weekly check-in to write my beginning balances before I start spending money, because if I don't, then boy, I get myself so confused. So food is going to go ahead and get $100 as always. Prepper Pantry is going to go ahead and get $50. I will let you guys know that I will be going back to regular grocery shopping. I don't know if you guys have been watching my grocery hauls on the other channel or not, but I did 2 months of a $20 a week budget. Turned out very well. So $50 for car. And for me, we're going to go ahead and grab out $40 to add into my spending. Pay it forward, we'll go ahead and get a 10. Perfection. And I feel like we have 1 10 too many in here. I must have messed up somewhere in stacking my cash. I need to check the next week and see if a 10 is missing. So fun and miscellaneous, we're going to go ahead and add 25 into this. So this gives us $50. My husband and I are going to be going to visit the grandbaby. I have a feeling this money right here might get spent on food and stuff. And then $25 for home. Let's go ahead and total up everything that we spent for the month. And before I forget, let me look in the bank envelope here and let's see, are we missing a 10 here? I don't think so. 100. Nope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this $10 here at the end, and it goes somewhere. I just don't know where yet, so I will figure that out. Okay, let's figure out what we spent for the entire month in each category. So we've got our 2 papers here. And let's get this done. So for food, we spent $50 for the first week, $31, $78, and $59. So $188. Why didn't I write those all down? That's funny. I put them in the calculator, but I didn't add it. So $50 for week 1, 31 for week 2, 78 for week 3, and 59 for week 4. I will tell you guys, there was a lot more eating out because we were traveling to see our granddaughter. So for Prepper Pantry, we spent $50, we spent $77, so 50 and 27. I don't remember what this was actually spent on. I know some of it was cheese. Cheese is what I know some of it was. So for car, I spent 44, then nothing this week, and then 59 and 19. So for car washes, window chips, you know, all of that kind of stuff, I spent $122, and that was cracks in my windshield or chips in my windshield. And now my windshield is officially cracked. The good news is it's not in my line of sight whatsoever. Now, Wyoming does have a law that you're not supposed to have a cracked windshield at all, but I can tell you this, being in law enforcement and dealing with a lot of law enforcement, most of them are not going to pull you over unless it is directly in your vision. So $188. That is crazy. These two added up to be the same thing. Makes me think that I didn't add up my stuff right. So let's double check. 43, 71. This is when I went to Jackson. So that's why I spent more that week. 15 and 59. 188. How crazy is that? So pay it forward. We didn't spend anything for pay it forward, but it did go into our giving. So $0 there. I almost wrote 40. Okay. Fun and miscellaneous. We spent 25, 0 for home, 25 each week. Work smarter, not harder, right? So I'm trying to do these two categories together. So 25 and 20. So we spent 75 on fun and miscellaneous and 45 on home. So as far as cash out of my wallet in these categories, this is what we spent. So we spent $675 for the month. A little bit higher, like I said, the eating out was higher, and also my spending was higher because I did purchase a couple books for myself in Jackson, and $59 in chai tea or coffee. That is ridiculous. Okay, you guys, let's go ahead and do a couple quick savings challenges. We've got $50 for savings challenges today. One thing you are going to notice is that I am not putting as much money into savings challenges or towards the mortgage, because our income level is lower now. So we've got $50. I've got two versions of Shut the Box here. We also have Miss Georgette and her bubble bath. I feel like we should start with Miss Georgette. I was going to say the front of these are $3 to $15. We only have 50. Whew. Maybe we should end with Miss Georgette and color on the back. Let's do that because we only have $50. All right, and we need some markers. I guess I should have grabbed those as well. So we are doing blue and green here. And we only did $2 last time, you guys. We almost shut the box. If I shut the box, it's $25, so that would be half of our money. But shutting the box is so much fun. All right, you guys, let's get going. So we've got a 7. And if you're not familiar, I do have a Shut the Box challenge bundle available on Etsy and on my website. So make sure you go check those out. Uh-oh, we got 7 twice. I'm going to say no whammies, big bucks, big bucks. It's a little bit late, but hopefully, you know, we can get some good rolls here, because if we have to color all those in, I don't know if we'll have enough money. Oh, perfect. 9. And I am enjoying the new Shut the Box challenges that I am doing. I just finished out the big one, which was a lot of fun. If you guys haven't seen that one, I am playing it on daily games. So make sure you go check out my daily games. And those, of course, are here on YouTube, but also on Instagram and TikTok. And also Facebook. Did you guys know I started a Snow Gardener Facebook page? I sure did. Nothing too exciting on there. Mainly just another spot to put my daily games, but I also want to start adding more. So we've got 10 left, so $10. That's not too bad. That's in our budget, right? 2 plus 3 plus 5 equals $10. Awesome. So $10 for Shut the Box. And then we've got another version of Shut the Box. We are going to be doing our doubles Shut the Box. The way that this works is almost the same way. We, of course, will be rolling 2 dice, but when we get doubles, we save whatever die the double is. So if we roll double 2s, like the last time, we save $2 extra. It's just another fun little twist on Shut the Box. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get started on this one. Let's say no whammies, big bucks, big bucks. And we got a $6 less going to our mortgage. We got a 3. And we got another 6. I feel like this is very similar to the last game that we played. Very strange. Not really, of course, but dang close. And a 9. Okay, no whammies, big bucks, big bucks. I hope you guys are having a fabulous Friday. Oh my goodness. We're going to count it. It's 10. It rolled on top of each other, but we're going to count it. And that is doubles, you guys. So that means that we are saving an extra $5 there. So let's add this 5 right here into our doubles box. All right, so we need an 11. An 11, a 7, or a 4. And we got a 7. Okay, so if we can roll a 4, that will be $25 for shutting the box, an extra 5 for doubles. Let's see. 6. So close, so close. And so, of course, we are saving $4 for this right here. So 4 plus 5 equals 9 for our doubles. Just another fun way. A lot of times, though, when I am keeping track or actually trying to do this game, I forget that I'm supposed to do doubles because this is still new for me. So $9. Let's go ahead and play doubles one more time. Shut the box doubles. So no whammies, big bucks, big bucks. We got a 6. Why do I have the black marker in my hand, you guys? Why did I pick that up? I thought I was going to be writing stuff, I guess. All right. And we've got a 10. So 9 and 1. Are you guys doing anything fun this weekend? Let me know. Like I said, we're going to be going to visit the grandbaby, so I'm super excited about that. I wish I could be there every day, but of course we do live in different towns. And I am doing 8 and 2, which is unusual for me. Normally I would do 7 and 3. Hopefully it doesn't bite me in the butt. All right, no whammies, big bucks, big bucks. We got a 9. Okay, we cannot do a 9. So we've got 7 plus 5 plus 3 is $15. No doubles that time, so just $15. Let's go ahead and grab another 15. So for this one right here, 24 bucks going to our mortgage. Now we have got $16 left. This on the front is 3 to 15. That means we can go ahead and scratch off of the front. Let's see. We're going to scratch this one over here. I created this challenge, but I created it a couple years ago at least, I think. So I have no idea where anything is. Let's see what this one is. Oh my gosh, you guys. 15. I thought I was safe scratching that one off by itself. $15 for Miss Georgette. So 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we're going to put this $1 back into our savings challenges to go towards next week. Now, I haven't shown a budget update for a while. So let's go ahead and get into our mortgage payoff check sheet. And I've got to put it back into my binder because it is out of my binder from the check-in that we just did. With the way that I print my budget kits, that's the way that it works. So here is my mortgage payoff for the month of February. And let's get it to where you guys can see it. We are still making good progress, but we have slowed down because the income has slowed down, right? That is just the way it goes. And today's date is the 27th. I had to look at my watch, the day that you guys are going to see this. So for Shut the Box, we had 2 versions, but we're just going to go ahead and put them together. So we have got 10, 20, 25, 30, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So $34 for Shut the Box. And then we have got Miss Georgette in her bathtub with her bubbles, and she was $15. So minus 15, and we're just going to put Georgette. 227. And, you know, I think this is good for me to kind of slow down, to back down, because the money isn't there. And I want to keep putting all of that extra money towards the mortgage because we have a goal. But if you don't have the extra money, then you can't do it. And I think that that is a very back to the basic concept, right? We have to have it. I've been watching more budget related content on TikTok, and I've seen the people that are doing the micro payments each day. And I saw one person comment on that and ask, like, do you have this money in your budget? And they said, no, I'll just figure it out as we go. And of course, that's one thing you want to be careful of. This money here that I put towards savings challenges is in the budget. If you guys watch my budget videos, I do budget this money into our monthly budget, which is why there's not as much money. So we started, back mid-June, and we're now towards the end of February with our mortgage payoff plan. This is when we really started putting all extra money towards the mortgage that we could. We started at $148,638.77. So let's see how much we've paid off since we started. So minus 124, 118. So we have paid off $24,520.77 on our mortgage in what? Let's see, I guess June to, so we've got July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. So in about 8.5 months. Is it huge progress? Have we cut this in half? I've seen some people that pay their mortgage off in like a year. I don't make enough money to do that. But still, you know, before this next month, we're going to be over $25,000 that we've paid down. Actually, more than that because with our regular payments. But for this month, we have paid, let's look. Sorry, you guys. My brain is all over the place this day, so you get to experience that. So we've paid $2,159. Our mortgage payment is about $1,200. Now, our goal right here, our stretch monthly goal, we did not make it this month. Our stretch goal is $2,678.11. We didn't make it this month, but that's okay. And so, of course, here's our mortgage payment right here, $1,278.11. So if you look at this, we didn't quite double our mortgage payment this month, which of course is what that basically is, but we paid an extra $880.89 to our mortgage. So we are getting there. Let's take a look at the January one and compare it. So January, I want to see, we didn't figure that out for January either. Like I said, this year has been a little bit shorter on funds. We did make our goal last month though. So this month is the first month that we didn't make our goal. I'm hopeful in March that we'll be able to make our goal. And because this goal right here correlates with getting our house paid off June of 2030, which is about 4.5 years from now. All right, you guys, I have rambled on long enough. Thank you guys for joining me for today's video. And until I see you guys next time, remember to keep on smiling. Bye, everyone.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing. Wake up.